Trigger warning, the following storytime video contains very heavy topics. This is an honest storytime about my experience as a Jambassador. Well, hello everybody. It's been quite a long time since my last video at the end of May, which was the final Pause and Flaws episode. So at the end of that video, I said, in August, I'm going to come back with a final video letting everyone know what I've decided to do with my channel. And I have made the decision to retire YouTube completely. This is simply because I don't have an interest in YouTube anymore, period. I don't have an interest in making lengthy videos, lengthy series. I've just moved on from all of that. I'd rather be writing stories on Wattpad or posting my silly Animal Crossing adventures on my Instagram page. Throughout the summer, I have had so much peace not having to worry about uploading another YouTube video every 5 to 10 seconds of my life. I want to make one thing clear though. I really did enjoy my years as an AJ YouTuber, and I'm super relieved that all of my Animal Jam content has been completed. You can watch it at any time. It's all there on my channel at your leisure. I've even set up a commemorative little museum in the Ellipsity Den. As you can see, I'm not in my Ellipsity account because I don't feel like logging on there again, and the membership's gonna expire soon. I don't want to ruin outfits or any of that stuff. So I'd like to talk about exactly why I'm retiring completely and not just stepping down as a Jambassador. I am completely 100% quitting YouTube. Big choice, I know, but hear me out. As much as I appreciated the journey as an Animal Jam YouTuber from 2016 on to 2019, the Jambassador years, those were hard. I will go into detail about that in a second. But let's start from the early days, the positive days, the golden days of my channel, 2016 to 2019. I was full of life. I loved what I was doing. As silly and cringy as it was, I was free. I loved the community. I loved inspiring it. Even though the community was usually full of drama, I still loved what I was doing. I loved being a source of positivity and a safe spot. What I was doing, I don't regret it. I'm not deleting anything off my channel. It's there for everyone to watch for years to come. But here's what I regret, and I kind of wish never happened, but I'm also kind of glad it happened because I learned a lot. It just sucks that I had to learn the hard way, was becoming a freaking Jambassador in early 2019. There's no kind way to say this, but my Jambassador years were absolutely a nightmare and abysmal for my mental health. I became miserable, angry, frustrated, stressed out all the time. My channel became a job I didn't like, as opposed to my earlier YouTube years where my channel was the only thing I would think about on most occasions. Yeah, very big difference. You see, when I became a Jambassador at the beginning of 2019, I had this idea that I was going to help the community. Pretty laughable, I know. Let's all laugh together, shall we? But still, I really thought I was going to be able to help the community. And I really thought when I got the title that I would be able to do that. I thought AJHQ was willing to listen to my ideas, always, take our feedback and help the community whenever I gave advice about dangers or hacks or something that needed to be looked into to protect the community. But here's the shocker for all of you soon-to-be Jambassadors or aspiring ones. That's not what the Jambassador role is for. Surprise! The Jambassador role is not an AJ moderation team. You don't get to help the community, you don't get to inform anyone about the dangers, and you most certainly do not get to discuss drama. Here's what I learned during my 2.5 awful years as a Jambassador. Your only job is to make Animal Jam look like the best game on planet Earth, and promote Play Wild, not AJ Classic. If you promote AJ Classic, you're left on your own, because they don't care about AJ Classic. So not only do you not get to help the community, but you also are bound to Play Wild. Play Wild is the only game they're ever going to give you cool updates for. The only game you're going to find really good content with. Because if you're an AJ Classic person, you have to have a really strong imagination. You have to be super creative. You have to be an AJ artist. You gotta have some creative ability if you want to thrive as an AJ Classic Jambassador. Because guess what? Nobody cares about those little giveaways anymore unless they just want items and they're gonna use you as an item dispenser. It's just, there's no point in being an AJ Classic Jambassador. Point blank. And also, if let's say there's some really dangerous individual in the community and kids are at risk, you're not allowed to publicly talk about it. Because guess what? Apparently, bringing important issues to the surface, educating people on internet dangers, oh no, that's not child friendly. But apparently, sweeping it under the rug is. Got it. So I realized at that very unfortunate moment in 2019 that I wasn't allowed to help this community in any way. I couldn't discuss the dangers. I couldn't, make awareness videos. Like, I wanted to do that. Deep down, there's a person inside of me that loves making commentary and loves, bringing justice to the community. That's what I would have done had I not become a Jambassador, but I became a Jambassador, so I lost that freedom. So that's my advice to you AJ commentary folks. If you want to become a Jambassador, you gotta give up the commentary. If you don't want to become a Jambassador, then keep up with the commentary. You can't have both. Why do you think, even in my opinion videos, I still had to keep it family friendly? I couldn't list off individuals' names. I had to be extremely careful. I had to not incite drama. I had to be the good little Jambassador who obeys AJHQ's every command. Not only that, no. Not only was an aspect of my personality completely smothered and had to be hidden at pretty much all times, I also had to limit how I made Life is Full of Phantom. You know how season 4 was PG-13? Guess how that happened? I asked AJHQ for permission. Yeah, I had to ask for permission because there was something going on in November 2019, and it was YouTube's new COPPA law, which, by the way, threatened all kid-friendly YouTubers. And since Life is Full of Phantoms was not a kid-friendly show, I had to prove that, and that came to a toughie. I had to say, guess what, AJHQ, Life is Full of Phantoms is not particularly kid-friendly. Am I gonna have to give up my title to continue making this series how I want to? I was told, fine, continue making it, but put warnings before every episode. That's why there were lengthy warnings before every single episode that bored people to death. I had to put those there, If I wanted to keep my title, I had to put them there. And here's another thing. If the COPPA law on YouTube were not a thing, they probably would have said, no, you may not make PG-13 content on our game. So that's one little thing where I felt really restricted. I had to literally ask for permission to make a series the way I wanted to make it. It's so funny to me now. I'll never get over that. Imagine you don't have the freedom to make content how you want to make it. You have to ask someone higher than you for permission. Isn't that something? Not to mention, aside from all that, I was highly different from all the other Jambassadors. I did not have the personality or the positivity of a Jambassador. I was becoming meaner and more angry because I was restricted. They were always shoving Play Wild in our faces. I felt like I couldn't make content for AJ Classic. The stress of the plushies on AJ Classic was getting to me. Play Wild was hurting my eyes and giving me migraines. It was just getting way too stressful. Ugh. Fall of 2019. My God, do I have a whole novel to write about that time period. So let me put this into perspective. It is fall 2019. You're a Jambassador. You felt like you had no choice but to move to Play Wild because you thought AJ Classic was bad for your mental health, and Animal Jam HQ kept shoving Play Wild down your throat. They were not updating Classic enough, so you had to force yourself to love Play Wild, even when you really didn't. So you told the community a big fat lie and said, hey, I'm gonna move to Play Wild because it's better, when really no, you're just trying to please AJHQ. So that's one thing to add on to that. Then come the migraines because Play Wild hurts your eyes. The oversaturation, it makes you sick, it hurts your head, it makes you nauseous. And then the plushies come out. Everyone starts begging you for those plushies. Some people are even attacking you for not giving out the plushies the right way, because apparently there's a right way to distribute plushies. The stress builds and builds and builds, and some people are even jealous of you because you have a plushie, and they don't. And it's like, it gets worse. And on top of that, YouTube's COPPA law is introduced not even 2 months later, and it tells you if you want to continue making kid content, you gotta put made for kids if you don't want to be fined. Thank God that's not what actually ended up happening, but the stress of that being dangled in all the Jambassadors' faces, I'm sure I'm not the only one who was filled with an immense level of stress. Every Jambassador had been hit with that so hard. It was a stressor. And the anxiety levels of that, plus the plushies, plus the continued drama in the community, and all of that stuff going on, and then Play Wild being a stress source because I had trouble making Pause and Flaws Season 1 on there. Play Wild skits are one of the biggest headache inducers in planet Earth. It all just added on and on and on, and it became so stressful that it was affecting my heart. Yes, I'm sure you all remember, or most of you, remember this video where I talked about why I left AJ Classic, because I thought it was really bad for my mental health, and I thought that the heart problem was caused by it. But you know, I was actually born with an issue called tachycardia, or it's a heart arrhythmia, or whatever. There's plenty of names for it, I guess. I had the atrial fibrillation. That's exactly what it was. Did you know that stress can worsen that? Yeah, it can worsen it by a lot. I'm almost certain, had I just taken a break at that time, it would not have gotten as bad. But no, I was stubborn, and I really wanted to please AJHQ and make Play Wild content and please the community. And it stressed me out so much that my heart problems just got worse and worse and worse. I know this is the untold part of that story. I thought it was just a natural occurrence, but no, I am now learning that stress can worsen it. So keep up with the story. We're still in fall 2019 here. I'm about to tell you the untold part of that story because it was too heavy to talk about back then. It is now December 2019. You have had a stressful 4 months since you switched to Play Wild. It has never been more stressful. The COPPA law is about to come into effect in just 3 weeks. You have final exams to worry about. People are still pestering you about the plush toys, and some are even asking you, hey, ask AJHQ for a magenta tiara to give to me. You're a Jambassador, right? You can ask AJHQ for items and give them to people of your choice. Yes, I literally had people asking me to go ask AJHQ for magenta tiaras to give to these scammers and hackers, and I was like, oh my god, am I a servant now? And it gets worse. All of that stress was piling up. It wasn't even just that. It's not even just that. I even had a bit of drama at the end of 2019. I'm not even going to go into details. I'm not going to give any names because I'm not petty like that. But the drama from that and everything added up, it was putting me in fight or flight mode. Okay? So it's December 15th, 2019. My heart is racing and I don't know why. I tell my father, hey, my heart is racing. I don't know what's going on here. And he says, that's not normal. We're taking you to the hospital right now. So it's 1 a.m., December 16th, 2019. And as soon as I get there, the ladies say, oh my god, we're gonna put you in this wheelchair and take you to the nearest hospital room. It's really bad. You can't walk right now. Because my heart was racing so fast. They thought I was going to have a stroke at any second. So when they put me in the hospital bed, they knocked me out with ketamine. You know, the stuff that makes you all drugged up and it just gets crazy. So I got put on that ketamine stuff, right? I started seeing crazy visuals. I woke up, started talking like a cowboy. But you know, let me back up a little bit. Before I was knocked out and they were trying desperately to stop my heart rate from getting so fast, like this is before they put me on the ketamine. They were searching for ways to slow my heart rate because they didn't want to have to resort to the ketamine. That was like a last resort type of deal. So they were just trying frantically. I was like, oh my god, his heart rate won't stop. It's getting higher. It was at 250 beats per minute. It just kept getting worse. And that whole time, as my vision started blurring and I started feeling like I was slowly fading away, I thought to myself, oh no, I'm really gonna die. And I spent my last year on Earth worrying about a dead children's game, pleasing a company like AJHQ. I'm really gonna die this way. And then, thank God that didn't happen. I woke up, I was talking like a cowboy, I was all drugged up on that ketamine stuff, and they told me I was gonna need a heart surgery. And I had to wait a week for that, you know? It would have taken a week for them to find an available appointment, which, of course, the only available appointment was Christmas Eve 2019. So not only that, I had to give up my Christmas to spend in the hospital to get that heart issue figured out. All because of this accumulation of stress that was so unnecessary. So you know what? As much as I hate saying it, my Jambassador years could have killed me. It sounds dramatic. I didn't even want to admit it back then. It's embarrassing to admit that trying to please this children's company could have led to your untimely death at the age of 21, but that's what happened. I can't even falsify any of it. I can't sugarcoat it. My time as a Jambassador almost led to my untimely death. Like, it got so bad to the point where they literally had to shock my heart to restore its heart rate. And to do that, they had to put me on the ketamine so I wouldn't feel the pain. I had to have that surgery, which also could have led to my untimely death if it went wrong. I could have gotten a stroke or a heart attack. Like, so many awful things could have happened. And I was there supporting this company. If you want to hear all the details, I have a full video dedicated to that right here. You'll find a link in the description. I'm not going to talk about it anymore because it's a very heavy subject. That's why I put a trigger warning at the start of this video. Now let's go ahead and fast forward to May 2021, when there were concerns of very dangerous people in our community, which AJHQ so awfully responded to with that No Drama Llama post. You know what really boils my blood? The fact that there were young 13 to 15-year-old Jambassadors pleading for AJHQ to do something about the issue, only to be told, we're working on it, and shutting them up about it. So, while the community was canceling these poor Jambassadors. And that's another thing, if you're a Jambassador, you get all the blame for AJHQ's stupid choices. And from what I heard, it was a whole, if we go down, we're taking you with us type of deal with AJHQ and the Jambassadors. So, the Jambassadors basically had to suffer losing their reputation along with AJHQ's. And that just makes me so mad. Because that is so stressful to have one side, the community, canceling you for not being able to speak out on an issue you want to speak out on, but you're not allowed to. It just, ooh, it makes me so mad. So here's where I'm going to give advice to the new Jambassadors. If you feel uncomfortable, if you feel like you're being restricted, I suggest you just resign that role and stop supporting this company, okay? Because I don't think they really care about your mental well-being if they're putting you through this. And if they really made up for it by sending you a stupid package, that's not good enough. A stupid package is not going to repair their mental health, okay? They're being canceled for things that are out of their control because of AJHQ's stupid decisions. How fair is that, And this is not a job, I repeat, it's not a job. As I've said many times, they're not getting paid to deal with this crap. I'm literally so happy I left when I did. Dear non-Jambassadors, take this with a grain of salt. This is just my experience, but you're very lucky that you're not Jambassadors. If you enjoy being canceled every week for things AJHQ does, stick with your goal of becoming one, I guess. Keep that in mind. I have nothing against the community. They're a bunch of teens and kids learning their way. Yes, there's going to be drama and toxicity, but I have nothing against the teens or the kids. The adults, on the other hand, if you're being toxic to these kids, I have no respect for you. And those who are playing this game as adults, keep looking out for the kids, okay? Even if AJHQ doesn't like it, keep looking out for the kids. Be responsible. Though it kind of sucks because that should have been AJHQ's job from the very beginning. But you know what? They've done a horrible job at it because kids are getting hurt regardless of what they're trying to do. And I would totally stick around to be one of those helpful adults in the community, but it's been more harm than help to my mental health. And I just can't put myself in that position again. I went through so much crap during my 2.5 years as a Jambassador that I would just rather put that chapter behind me as well as my Animal Jam chapter, because regardless of what I do, whether I stick around here or not, I don't take the Wildworks company seriously anymore. They are a big fat joke. They have proven time and time again that they will always neglect the safety of the kids. I mean, think back to the data breach. So many people's personal information was leaked, okay? Personal information of over 46 million kids and parents or whoever. It's still bad, whether it's parents or kids. Oh, and take a look at this. See the bots right there? These issues happen all the time. You can't even log in most of the time, or the game crashes, the servers go down. The emails, when you email them for help, the customer support, it's just like, it's all so flawed. Like, Animal Jam, can you just shut the game down already, okay? Because people are gonna wake up one day and realize this game is too childish and move on, because you just don't listen. It's like, oh my god. Did you know that I was actually 100% planning on quitting after my heart surgery went successfully. I was thinking, I can't keep doing this to myself. I was really close to fully quitting, but because the community was so supportive and sent me get well messages, it touched me, it touched my heart. Quite literally, because I had a heart surgery, but yeah, it just touched me, and that's why I stuck around to finish Life is Full of Phantoms, Pause and Flaws, and all of my projects, because I really had a loyal fan base that really cared about my mental well-being, and that's why I stuck around. Not for the company, not to please AJHQ, and that's why in May 2020 I left Play Wild. Not because of the rebranding, but because I don't support the company's decisions, and that's that. But aside from all of that, it's been an honor supporting this community and making videos for so many years, but not the company. So I wish you all good luck, and thank you. I would not trade the journey for the world. And I'm talking about my non-Jambassador years. My Jambassador years, though, I think I would let my channel completely disintegrate before ever doing them again. Not to be a drama queen or king or whatever, I almost died at the end of 2019. It is not entirely Animal Jam's fault, but the stress that I was being put through did not help. Before you say, you should have just taken a break then. Look, I loved the community so much. I loved what I was doing. I loved the game. I had passion. And back then I clearly didn't have self-respect, but we can put that behind us now. As much as I did not want my final video to be a whole grievance topic video, I had to do it because you guys always knew me as the honest, upfront, to the point Jambassador, and I'm gonna stay consistent with that. I'm telling you what I really feel, what I really think, and what my experience was really like. Because if I'm gonna claim I care about this community, of course, I'm gonna tell the community what I think is best for them. And if you really wanna be a Jambassador, be mindful that you're going to have a lot of stress. If you are really willing to handle all of that, fine, but do not come crying to me when your mental health goes down the drain. Just saying. And it's not like I didn't literally go to HHQ multiple times informing them of really dangerous people in the game, only to be shut down and told, we appreciate the reports, but we can't police the internet. Don't pay it any mind, Jammer. Pfft, it's your game. If you want to see it crumble, you're doing a great job at that. Like, if they don't care about their game, why should I? You know? Now, going back to that whole safe spot thing I said at the beginning of this video. If a game's community really needs safe spots, is it really a community worth being in? I mean, if I were you, I would actually think critically about this and maybe look at the bigger picture. The bad clearly outweighs the good. And this is just my advice. I'm not telling anyone to quit, but I honestly think it's the healthiest decision to make. I get it, not everyone had a dangerous heart arrhythmia like I did. I got very unlucky because I was born with that and only got resolved when I had that surgery. But why would I come back and risk all that again? You know, even though I had the surgery, there's a 5% the arrhythmia could return, and I will not continue doing what caused it to get so bad. So everyone, if you want to see my future content, follow my Instagram account where I post a lot of cute little Animal Crossing stuff. Follow my Wattpad account where I'm writing the Anachronist story, which would have been a feral series. Just, you know, that's where I'm going to be active now, guys. I'm just going to be chilling on Instagram and Wattpad and Animal Crossing, because, you know, those are what bring me joy now. If, for whatever reason, I decide to return to YouTube, 0.001% chance I'm going to be using the separate Ivory channel for that. And if I decide to, it's going to be a Wildworks commentary channel. Again, 0.00001% chance that I will do that. My mental health cannot afford it. I can't go back. So also keep in mind, I spent way too many hours, too much money on commissions for all those series I made. I spent so much money and time on this dying game, okay? So if anything, I'm not gonna put myself in that position where Wildworks has the upper hand to literally silence me again. I won't do that, okay? I'm not going to put myself at risk of that, when honestly, they should be giving me a lot more than just a pathetic 1 week extra membership. I did so much for their company. They lost me, and now they want me to come back, but it's not going to happen, okay? Now, I know there are some very great people still working at the Wildworks company, but look, They're supporting a very bad company. I can't mince words. Metaphorically speaking, whatever water balloons get thrown towards Wildworks, they're gonna splatter on the community and the employees as well. They're gonna wrongfully suffer for things that are not their fault. I'm not being pessimistic, I'm being realistic. I don't mean to scare anyone, but it's only gonna get much worse. I really hope they find a better career choice one day, because Wildworks just ain't it. Everyone's experience is different, okay? I totally get that. But some way, somehow, you're gonna move on from this game eventually, whether you like it or not. Something's gonna push you to move on. It's conflicting, because I really did love this community, and I still do, but at what cost? My mental health? I can't put myself in a position where everything is so unpredictable and stressful again. I need a lot of order in my life, and this whole AJ YouTube thing has become way too unpredictable, way too stressful, and it's not healthy. I'm not in a position where I can come back to YouTube, not for a long while. Also, I've been receiving questions on what I should be called. People think they should either call me Ellipsity or Ivory, or even call me my real name, Paul. Paul or Ivory, not Ellipsity, okay? Ellipsity is the name of a Jambassador who supports a very bad company. I don't want to have that attachment anymore, so just call me Ivory or Paul. That's it. Please. Some of you who left the community years ago might be watching this and thinking, I told you so, but you didn't listen. Look, once I figured out for myself what the Jambassador role really was all about, I realized, yeah, time to go. Sorry this video was such an ungodly length, but I hope it was insightful and gave you a lot of knowledge on what my experience was really like as a Jambassador. Once again, thank you Animal Jam community, and I wish you all the best of luck.